Do you feel burnt out because you've been carrying the emotional weight of everyone else's needs for decades while silently telling yourself, I will rest when? And here's the truth. Self-care in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond isn't luxurious. It's liberating. It looks like boundaries, like letting go of roles that no longer fit, like choosing peace over performance. So let's talk about the kind of self-care that actually changes your life. Because by now you've probably realized that self-care is a lot more than fitness challenges and face masks. We're in a season where many of us are caring for aging parents, growing kids, navigating career changes, or rediscovering who we are outside of our roles. So today I want to walk you through 6 real science-backed self-care practices that go beyond the surface. This is about protecting your peace, reclaiming your time, and redefining what it means to take care of you. Step 1. Setting emotional boundaries without guilt. Studies show that chronic emotional labor, where you're constantly managing others' emotions, leads to higher levels of anxiety, depression, and immune dysfunction. And for women especially, this shows up as invisible caretaking. So real self-care means you stop leaking your energy. So when setting boundaries, acknowledge, assert, and affirm. For example, try saying, I understand this is hard for you, however, I can't take this responsibility right now. I hope you find the support that you need. Setting boundaries in this way doesn't mean pushing people away. It just means protecting and keeping your peace close. Step 2, releasing roles that no longer fit. We spend decades being the responsible one, the fixer, the achiever, and the caretaker. But holding on to outdated identities is mentally exhausting. Research shows that identity rigidity is linked to higher cortisol and mental burnout. So self-care means evolving your identity, not clinging on to older versions of you. In your journal, use these journal prompts. The role that I'm ready to retire is, and the version of me I am excited to become is. And let yourself grow, let yourself shift. It's not a crisis, it's a renewal. Step 3, practicing selective silence. In a world of constant noise of text messages, group chats, and Slack messages, intentional silence is a nervous system reset. A 2023 study from the University of Rochester shows that just 2 hours of silence a week improves clarity, working memory, and reduces amygdala overactivation. So self-care means protecting your mental bandwidth. Designate 1 quiet hour a week. No talking, no media, just quiet, and let your mind hear itself again. Even with my busy schedule of having a full-time corporate job and 3 young kids and a YouTube channel, I still try to designate 1 hour where I read in silence. If you'd like to join me on these reading sessions, leave me a comment below and let me know, and I'll try to do a read with me video. Step 4, saying no without explaining yourself. One of the most radical acts of self-care after 40, not explaining your no. Research from Dr. Vanessa Bonds at Cornell found that people tend to dramatically underestimate how much their no will be respected and overestimate how much they will need to justify it. So practice saying no without a long backstory. For example, practice saying, I won't be able to make it, or this isn't going to work for me, or this is not something I can commit to. Remember, you don't need a permission slip to prioritize your peace. Step 5, processing grief you didn't know you were carrying. Getting older sometimes means having to deal with quiet grief. Kids getting older, parents aging, or dreams that didn't unfold. Unprocessed grief can masquerade as irritability, apathy, or even physical fatigue. According to the Center for Complicated Grief, acknowledging and processing your grief reduces your risk of depression by over 40%. So write a goodbye letter to one version of life you thought you would have, and then write a welcome letter to the version that's unfolding now. This isn't about letting go of the past, it's about welcoming your future. Step 6, doing something solely for joy and not for productivity. Life often tends to become a checklist, but your nervous system needs joy for regulation. Neuropsychologists call this non-outcome-based dopamine, and it's linked to cognitive aging and emotional balance. Self-care means reclaiming time for joy that doesn't produce anything. Block out 1 hour a week for joy with no purpose. You could use it for coloring, daydreaming, stargazing, anything that makes you feel alive and not just useful. Although they can be very relaxing, real self-care at this age isn't about bubble baths. It's about boundaries, it's about clarity, it's about letting go of guilt and performance and reclaiming your peace. You've spent years showing up for everyone else. Now it's your turn. And the beauty of this chapter is that you get to write it on your own terms. And remember, you are worth taking care of. See you in the next one.